This is the ViewSonic LS740HD, and my first reaction was, wow, this thing is bright. I powered it on in a lit room, blinds open, and the 5000 ANSI lumens cut right through. Text looked crisp, photos popped, and I didn't have to dim the lights to keep slides readable. In my opinion, that's the real promise here, true lights-on performance without fuss. From my experience, setup was quick. The throw ratio is listed at 1.1 to 1.5, and it gave me a 100-inch image from about 8.2 feet, which matched what the spec sheet says. The 1.3x optical zoom was clutch for getting the size right without moving the stand. Optical zoom means the lens physically adjusts size without softening the picture. I also used HV keystone and the four-corner adjustment to square things up. If you're new to this, keystone is a digital fix that straightens a trapezoid-shaped image when the projector isn't lined up perfectly with the screen. It works well here, but like any digital correction, you'll want to use the least amount needed to keep maximum sharpness. I didn't have to fight with it. The geometry tools are the most forgiving I've used in this price class. Key features that mattered to me are the brightness, the laser light source, and the flexibility. The laser engine powers on and off almost instantly, which is great for meetings and quick setups. It's rated for up to tens of thousands of hours, so no lamp replacements, and the sealed optical engine helps keep dust out of the optics. That's peace of mind if you're mounting it in a classroom or a conference room that sees daily use. There's also 360-degree projection and a portrait mode, which let me aim it at odd angles and even test a vertical setup for digital signage. I don't do projection mapping every day, but having those options is a big plus. On size and build, it's compact at about 11.3 by 8.5 by 5 inches and roughly 6.6 pounds. Carrying it around is easy, ceiling mounting is not a hassle, and the chassis feels sturdy. The fan noise is noticeable in normal mode and quieter in eco. I stuck to eco whenever I could because the brightness overhead is huge and the room didn't need the full blast. For audio, the built-in speaker is okay for quick demos, but it's mono and not powerful enough for a larger space. I plugged a small powered speaker into the 3.5mm audio out, and it made a big difference. Connectivity is simple and straight to the point. 2 HDMI 1.4 ports for 1080p sources, plus RS-232 and LAN control if you're integrating with control systems. There's a USB-A port that outputs power, which I use to run a streaming dongle without an extra wall adapter. There's no built-in Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Honestly, that's fine for how I use it. Just know that you're not getting 4K HDR or 1080p at 120 Hz here. It's focused on clean 1080p. For most presentation and casual video use, that's absolutely fine. Image quality is sharp, thanks to the native 1080p DLP setup. Text and charts looked clean edge to edge. Colors are vivid enough out of the box, and with a bit of tweaking, I got skin tones looking natural. If you're a cinema purist who cares deeply about deep blacks and perfect color accuracy in a dark theater room, this leans more toward brightness than cinema-grade contrast. I watched a couple of movie scenes in a dim room, and the shadow detail was decent, but not the same as a dedicated home theater model. It's perfect for bright rooms, classrooms, training spaces, and anywhere you need impact with the lights on. I tested a golf sim profile with a launch monitor, and the golf mode did what it's supposed to do. Punch through ambient light and keep the fairway and greens clear on an impact screen. This is a great fit for simulator bays where you can't fully control the lighting. I also plugged in a console. Input lag felt smooth enough for casual gaming, not something I'd take to competitive play, but I didn't notice lag in story-driven titles or racers. Motion looked clean at 60 Hz. And the brightness gave daytime gaming a big boost. Now the part I have to be honest about. I did run into a quirk that others have mentioned, a random orange-yellow flash. On my first unit, it happened a few times in a day. I swapped for another, and it still happened, but less often. It's brief, but it breaks the flow if you're presenting to clients or running signage where stability matters. I love almost everything else about this model. The portability, the brightness, the easy setup. But that intermittent flash kept me on edge during more serious use. If your sessions are mission critical, that's something to factor in. I hope a firmware update addresses it. Until then, it's a caveat I can't ignore. Durability-wise, the laser life and sealed optics are the selling points. The instant on-off is a real quality-of-life upgrade if you're used to old lamp projectors. Thermals stayed controlled. The chassis never felt overly hot during long sessions, and the compact design makes travel easy. I do wish there were a bit more headroom in the HDMI spec for higher refresh options, and a second, better speaker would have made small rooms simpler. but these are compromises I can live with given the brightness and ease of use. From my experience, the strengths line up perfectly with what most people actually need. Bright, clean 1080p, fast setup, and low maintenance. It's perfect for offices, classrooms, church halls, hotel ballrooms, and golf simulators. I used it for a 10-foot screen in a lit space and didn't have to baby the lighting at all. I'd recommend this for anyone who values predictable, lights-on clarity and a compact body that doesn't require special mounts or extra cooling. If your use is mostly daytime sports, training videos, all-hands meetings, or signage, it hits the mark. In my opinion, it's less suited for a dedicated dark home theater where you want deep blacks and cinema-calibrated color. And I'd be cautious if you need rock-solid stability for gallery installations or high-stakes presentations, purely because of that occasional flash I described. If you can test it in your environment and your unit runs clean, you'll have a powerhouse with very low upkeep. In conclusion, the LS740HD nails the core job of being a bright, flexible 1080p laser projector that you can set up quickly and rely on for day-to-day use. The convenience of instant power, the long laser lifespan, and the excellent geometry tools make life easier. The trade-offs are real. Basic onboard audio, 1080p only HDMI, and that reported flash issue. But the value is undeniable when you need punchy, readable images in the light. I'm keeping it in my rotation for work and casual use, and I'm crossing my fingers for a software fix to make it an easy yes in every setting. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the ViewSonic LS740HD. Thank you for watching.